Hello everybody and good morning here from the MXGP of Lombardia, Italy, and on our studio show this weekend from Mantova. Joining me as he was last week, Jeff Emig, and we have Conrad Mewse from Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. We've got Gauthier Paulin coming in from Team HRC, and we've also got Stefan Everts, the team manager for Team Suzuki World MXGP. Before we start talking to Conrad though, Jeff, welcome to Mantova. First time here. First impressions of this track here in Italy.
Yeah, first time here. Obviously, a big story will be the weather. It's super hot. And it's first time seeing the track, right? So it's got that, it's a sand track, you'd say, but it really does have kind of a hard base to it. Conrad was even mentioning that the bumps were kind of hard. So I think a track like this is really difficult because traction's not so good at times. But first sessions of warm-up have been out on the track. There's a lot of jumps. I think that this track's really going to get chewed up, and it'll be great racing.
And you mentioned the weather as well. We'll talk more about that in a moment with Conrad. But before we do catch up with our first guest, Conrad Mewse, let's see what happened last week at Matterley Basin, the FULLBACK MXGP of Great Britain. Here's some highlights from MX2 Race 1. Max Anstey qualified on pole for his home Grand Prix, but didn't get the start that he was looking for. Instead, it was his two teammates, Thomas Covington and Conrad Mewse, that crept around the inside, as Jeffrey Hurlings raced to another foxhole shot. His teammate wasn't too far behind. Coming out of turn 2, Jonas took the lead from Hurlings, as Covington sat there in 4th place, trying to fend off the challenges of Dylan Ferrandis. Benoit Paturel crashed out spectacularly and would not rejoin the race. Samuele Bernardini was another rider who went down. He picked himself up outside the top 20 and would put on a spirited charge to get back to 13th. Meanwhile, Dylan Ferrandis made that move on Thomas Covington to get himself up into 4th place, as Jeffrey Hurlings found his way past his teammate Paul Jonas on lap 5 to take the lead. Conrad Mewse had problems selecting gears, couldn't make the triple. Dylan Ferrandis made that pass to get himself into 3rd, and then went after Jonas around about the midpoint of the race. And the Frenchman didn't take long to get himself onto the rear wheels of the Latvian. He made a neat outside pass around the outside, entering the wave section, and by the end of the straight, had got himself into 2nd with 5 laps to go. Conrad Mewse, though, was having the ride of his life at his home Grand Prix in only his 6th ever MX2 race. Jeremy Seawer, though, found his way past, got himself up into 4th in the closing stages. Hurlings would win, Ferrandis 2nd, but what a great ride for Mewse to come home in 5th. But on the final lap, there was more drama, 2 corners to go. Seawer got himself to 3rd. Well, that was 1 week ago, and a rider who played very much a part in that result in that first MX2 race, Conrad Mewse, Rockstar Energy Husqvarna Factory Racing, joins us now. And Conrad, welcome to our MXGP TV studio show. First time for you, but without giving too much away, it's been quite an interesting season for you already this year, hasn't it, in terms of where you started and where you are now?
Yeah, I mean, I obviously, as you all know, I started off in the Europeans at Valkenswaard, and I had a really good race there. I had a good winter leading up to that. I went 1-1, and then yeah, we had a team meeting a week later, and we made the decision to take the step to MX2. Yeah, in the first few rounds, I struggled to find my feet, and the racing was different. It was a lot different to what I'm used to, and I did struggle a bit, but no, it's good. I never doubted the move to MX2, and I'm happy with where I am now.
Well, as you say, it all started in Valkenswaard for the first round of the EMX 250 race. Perfect score, perfect day, 1-1. You came away with the red plate. You must have thought, okay, here we go. We're looking forward to a great season here. Yeah,
obviously at Valkenswaard, the plan was never to move to MX2. You know, so it was a big shock to me as well when the team mentioned it, but I was really happy with that, and yeah, like I said, we never doubted it, even when we were going through the bad results. So.
Yeah, so you were, at this point, you were the big fish in the small pond. Then you made the jump to MX2, so now you're the little fish in the big pond, right?
Yeah.
So what have you learned so far?
I've learned a lot of things really. Like I said, the racing's completely different. At Valkenswaard, I did 4 or 5 really good laps, and then I could kind of settle in and go with the rhythm for the rest of the race. But yeah, now you've got to do them fast laps every single lap just to scrape the top 10. So I've learned to push, and I've learned to go on my limits, which is for sure is necessary in this class.
I also, with that win there, you've had a tough couple of seasons in 125 Europeans. I guess that was the perfect confidence boost you needed, to push on and say, right, okay, let's put those 2 years behind me and let's move on from that.
Yeah, the last 2 years in the 125s, I really struggled. Even the last year, I got 1 race win, but it was nowhere near what I was expecting and what I was hoping for. So when I got that result, I was over the moon with that, and I was really looking forward to a good season, and hopefully, I was hoping to stay with the championship lead for a long time. So.
I mean, you mentioned MX2 a moment ago. I'm guessing after that first round of Valkenswaard, that decision to go, I know you had a team meeting, but did it kind of catch you off guard a little bit, or was it always just kind of bubbling beneath the surface?
No, I mean, I wasn't expecting it one bit for Jackie to mention about going to MX2. But for sure, I took that advantage, and I was really happy with the move.
There seems to be a really good chemistry on that Rockstar Energy Husqvarna team. You have another Brit, Max Anstey, on there. You have the American Thomas Covington. So, there's no language barrier with your teammates and things like that. But it seems like all 3 of you guys get on real well, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, we're all living in Belgium at the minute, and we all, even outside of motocross, we're really good friends, and we do a lot together, and the team's very supportive. So
has there been any sort of hazing now that you're the young guy on the team? Any practical jokes or anything that you'd like to share with us?
No, I mean, yeah, they all have a dig at me and things like that, but there's no competition, and we all get along really well. So it's nice. It's nice to have 2 teammates, like you said, that both speak English.
He doesn't want to say anything right now that's going to make it worse next week.
No, Max is already kind of plying me with a few stories that we can't really reveal here on air, but
If I say something now, they'll just give me more of a hard time.
That's right.
Zip it.
Yeah, just take your beating and just keep your head down.
I'll just praise them up all the time.
What do they say? Take one for the team?
That's right.
We just saw a clip a moment ago, the highlights from Matterley Basin. We've got another clip of you riding there. How was it? British Grand Prix, first one for you in MX2. Wasn't too bad, was it?
No, I mean, it was great. I had a good result in France leading up to that. I had an 8th place in one moto. And then going into Matterley, I had some confidence, and I was happy with my speed and where I was at. And yeah, the Saturday went really well. I matched my career best with an 8th in the qualifying race. And then the Sunday went even better in the first moto. I got a really good start from which I'd been waiting for, and
You were about 3rd.
You were running 3rd for a long time.
Yeah, I was running 3rd for a long time. And then, as you see, I made the mistake before the triple. I couldn't get it into gear.
But surely the crowd there, I mean, there was tons of people, especially that one hillside there in the back. You had to feel the love from the English fans at that point, right, when you would come through there?
Yeah, it was crazy, especially when I was in 3rd, because I didn't think anyone expected it, really. From my starts all year and everything, I think they were thinking, it's going to be Anstey and Covington. But yeah, when I was up there, it was certainly a good feeling.
If I'd said to you at Latvia, your first MX2 ride, at the end of the GP in Latvia, okay, let's look forward to a few GPs. You're going to go 5'9", 7th overall at Matterley Basin on home soil, and a spot running 3rd, what would you have said?
Yeah, at that moment I wouldn't have believed it, because I was really struggling when I first got in the MX2.
Yeah.
So it was nice as well, just for the team and everything, and just for everyone around there that had doubts in me and things. It was just nice to prove it and get out that start finally and run with them guys.
All right, well, look, we've got a couple of social media questions. Normally this would be Lisa's job, but since Jeff is not wearing a wig, and is just guessing, I'm going to have to
I'm
fill
just in here because the air conditioner's on.
Yeah. So we've got a social media question here from Joel Leyland 26. What were you thinking when you were in third in Matterley in that first race?
There wasn't really a lot of thinking going on, to be honest. I was just trying to ride my own race and not get too nervous and uptight about it. And the crowd helped a lot, to be honest. It was when I was in third, all I was thinking about was just staying in third and trying not to let anyone by and just holding my position, which I did do quite well for a long time. And then, yeah, 2 people got me, which I was a little bit bummed about. But no, it happens. It was my first time running there. So
one thing that I was really impressed with at the end of that moto when Seawer made the pass on you, and you could have easily kind of said, okay, into the moto, I'm getting tired. These are the big dogs of the class. But even when he made that pass back, when you ended up stalling the bike, it's like you were still in that attack mode. Like, I just want to get back to the inside and passing back. I don't know. I thought that was pretty cool. Really showed some of your characters. So keep that up.
And one more final question on social media from Steve War 74. What are your hopes or expectations for MX2 next season? Will it be top 5 consistently or better?
Yeah. The next season, it would be nice. Going into that season, it'd be nice to put in some consistent top 5s, because it's a long season, and I think the consistent people, they show out around the top, and because a lot of people have off races and then things like that. So I'd be happy with consistent top 5s next year, and around that, just outside the top 5s, I'd be really happy with. So
is there one track on the circuit that you feel like, okay, if I'm going to win a GP, this would be the track where maybe I had the most confidence?
Yeah, I've always really liked Matterley Basin.
All right.
All the time, yeah. And I feel like I always go into that place with a lot of confidence, and I go into every place with confidence, and I believe in myself. But yeah, there's something special about that place that I really enjoy.
Well, the fact that it's right down the road from your house, right? Not too far.
That's got something to do with it.
That helps.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are out of time with Conrad Mewse, Rockstar Energy, Husqvarna Factory Racing. Conrad, thanks a lot. All the best this weekend in Mantover and for the rest of the season as well. But before we meet Gauthier Paulin, here's some highlights from the FULLBACK MXGP of Great Britain from Matterley Basin a week ago. Highlights from MXGP Race 1.
A perfect circuit for moto number 1, dry conditions, and it was Tony Cairoli who thought he grabbed a hole shot as Valentin Guillot ran wide. Cairoli turned tight, and it was the Red Bull KTM that inched it clear of the Honda of Evgeny Bobashev. Problems for Desal on the opening lap left him down in 35th place as Ben Townley fell in one of the slow corners on the opening lap. Bobashev was clear at the head of the field, while his teammate was doing his best to stay inside the top 5. He was on the rear wheel of the 243 of Tim Geiser, with Jeremy Van Hoorbeek pursuing him. Cairoli made a mistake coming out of the turn, and that allowed Tim Geiser to make his move into 3rd position on lap 2, and then he went after the Khmer Yamaha of Valentin Guillot. Guillot was in 2nd. It wasn't long before Geiser took the position away from him and went after Bobashev as Jeremy Van Hoorbeek, Max Nagel, and ahead of them, Gauthier Paulin battled over 5th place. Jordi Tixier and Tommy Searle battled over 9th, but it was Tommy Searle who eventually came home in 8th. Bobashev, though, found himself coming under pressure from Tim Geiser as the rain started to fall towards the end of the race. Geiser went through to take the lead as Bobashev flat landed, lost 2nd to Valentin Guillot and Tony Cairoli, who went through in 3rd, and then he made that move at the bottom of the hill to take Guillot to go 2nd on the final lap. But it was another win for Geiser on his Honda.
Well, that was Matterley Basin 1 week ago, and I'm glad to say that our next guest, Gauthier Paulin from Team HRC, joins us now. And he only agreed, actually, because he got an all-access pass. But
I like your style. That's the way to do it.
he's like, can I come on the studio show? Yeah. Do I get an all-access pass? Yeah. Okay, I'm in.
Wide open.
Gauthier, welcome to our MXGP TV studio show here at the FULLBACK MXGP of Lombardia, Italy. 16th in points. It's been a hugely disappointing season for you up till now, but especially after finishing second last year. Just fill us in briefly.
You know, exactly. You know, it's pretty disappointing to, after a hard winter, working with Aldon Baker all over in the US and with JHRC crew having some good testing and stuff, and then arriving at the first GP and having a DNF direct. So direct was the first big hit, and then after 2 rounds, you know, at a training in Belgium, I get injured, you know, broken vertebra and some ribs. So it was tough. But then, you know, after hard work, you know, it's always paying off. So coming back, you know, again from an injured and being in the on the podium second round after my comeback was quite amazing. And then at the crash in Saint-Jean, which this is motocross, and then back again on the box in England. So right now, you know, I'm not working anymore for the overall, but still, you know, to have some good GP and just ride good at my level.
I guess when we look back to Qatar, that DNF in that race, that's almost, okay, it's not normally how we look at things, but it could almost be an indicator as to, you know, how this season has played out. You know, just bad luck at the first round. Yes,
you know, you always try to put the puzzle all together before a season, and with the hard work, with good food, with good preparation, and everything. You know, working hard with the team. But then you know, after the season, you can just see how the game went, and you can see that when it starts bad, it's pretty hard. But you need to accept it. There is so many parameters, you know, in motocross that you cannot follow. You just need to work out every day and make every day a good day.
Yeah. Yeah. It you know, it must be really difficult mentally to bring yourself back up after that, right? And so you would count on your teammates, your friends, girlfriend, things like that to help.
Sure. Like it was hard for myself. Pretty much the hardest injury that I've had, you know, because it's vertebra. So actually. When you get hurt and when they transport you, you know, you can't move and stuff. Things can be dangerous, and then ribs, you know, it's painful too. And also what I've said, you know, before my comeback, I went off from everything and just had a big cut, you know, to just breathe and just think, just stay with myself, you know. And I was hard with my wife, with family and stuff. That's true. It has been a tough time, and. After that, you know, I've been back again working on, and this podium has been giving me a lot of was a good favor, a good feeling.
Well, after the injury that you picked up training in Lommel, you missed 5 Grand Prix, but you came back well. You came back in good shape as well, as we saw in Spain, that podium.
In good shape, this is a big deal, you know. This injury, again, like Jeff told me, it's a hard one, and I was sitting just on a sofa for a few weeks. Because, you know, I couldn't move my neck and stuff, and I've lost everything, my cardio and everything, muscle-wise. I lose a lot of weight. So, in Arco di Trento, when I get back, I was feeling good on the speed, but physically it was tough. And then in Spain, you know, I bring it up again, and I thought just I could do 1 moto, and I make 2 motos and make a podium. So I was like, wow. And then you know, it was tough also with the weather those last weeks to do a good training. So it was really hard, but I managed to do it, and yeah, to see those images, it's an important podium. It was quite like a win for me.
Yeah, but we're all 3 been racers before, right? How bad, how difficult is it sitting at home on the couch with an injury, and then you watch the races where you've worked so hard to be on top? That's the motivation, right? It just kills you.
Yeah, that scares me actually. I couldn't watch Valkenswaard.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I couldn't watch it because, you know, before Valkenswaard, you know, my injury was just an injured, and then when I didn't went to Valkenswaard, this was the big deal. You know, it was like boom, like a hammer. Like
it's real. It's not
real,
there,
and then I couldn't watch it, and I watched it 2 days after, and then yeah, you take it, you know, and then you take this. How can I say this? you get on the game and you work hard again, or you leave it. And then what's the deal? You know, there is not much to do. And but this question get into my mind. You know, like this is a tough one. And honestly, when you see yourself in the mirror or two, it's not easy. But yeah, there is so much pleasure when you ride on front. Like, for instance, when I was leading the quali race, was this is why I ride for.
Yeah, well, we have I don't know if you've seen it or if you plan to watch it again or what, but we have the qualifying crash from France coming up here. And you were looking great at the head of the field.
Going to walk us through what happens?
Actually, you know, when people rip the track, there is some good ground, but when they rip it, you know, it's because it's hard pack. And just when we took out the good dirt, there is still some lines, and then when I land from these jumps, I was just trying to go to the left to get the perfect line, you know, to get on this ski jump. And when I land from this jump, I just had the G-force, and then I washed the front onto one of those little ruts that you can't even see. And you arrive so fast. And actually, I was pretty safe on the jump. I was never doing a scrub on it because I wanted to be straight, because I knew was pretty scary fast, and then this happened, and this was the end of my GP, and thanks God that I was all in shape after it, and yeah, those images are pretty scary, and but yeah, this is part of me now, and I need to accept and know why, and understand, and work hard to don't make mistakes, and I don't want to see myself on the ground like this anymore.
Yeah. And obviously you missed your home GP, but you came back, Matterley Basin, another podium for you. Again, a massive smile when you arrived on that podium at the end of the weekend.
Sure, because, you know, again, coming back from an injury, I couldn't. I've had to work hard on it, and I've told the people, the media also, and the team that I was a little short physically. I need to work harder. And then in France again, it stopped me for 5 days. But 5 days, when you have GP every weekend, it's hard to do hard work. And I did continue. And again, Matterley was a hard one. So now making a podium in Matterley was really good, especially with again the bad luck I had on Saturday. Which I took a tire on my boots at the start and opened all the buckles from it. So then I had to stop and just making on again and clips it again. So start 17, both Moto 1, Moto 2, and they did good start and make a podium. So was a good one. I like this smile. It's a good feeling. And again now now I'm back again in shape, and we'll work hard on Mantova, and then I think GP rider will relax a little bit, and I will continue to work hard to get back at my best.
All right, well, we're kind of running short on time here, but a couple of questions from social media really quickly. Whitaker Dalton asks, what's the roughest track in MXGP?
What's the roughest track? I think the roughest one for me was Lombardia last year. Yeah. Because sand track, normally, if you have the good flow, it can be okay, you know, because you jump from bump to bump and you stay on top, like the whoops, you know, in the US. And in Lommel, especially, they cut the speed with big hole on the track. And that makes you just stop your speed, stop your flow, and then accelerate back again, and makes even worse bump. And this on three spot on the track. So I think Lommel last year was one of the hardest one.
Okay. Well, I hope that answers your question, Whitaker Dalton. But we are at a time here with Gauthier Paulin from Team HRC. Thanks for joining us, and hopefully for the rest of the season, thanks for staying around, and we'll see you on the podium a lot more.
Thank you.
Right. Thank you to Gauthier. Before we meet Stefan Everts, a quick reminder as to what we can look forward to this summer on MXGPTV.com. Right. This week, and as we've been running for a while, we have a summer special offer on MXGPTV.com, saving 50% on the MXGP TV Season Pass, where you can watch every round of the FIM Motocross World Championship, Monster Energy FIM Motocross Nations, and the Monster Energy SMX Riders Cup live and on demand. And also the Super Motocross Riders and Manufacturers Cup that takes place at the Veltins Arena in Germany on October 8th. Tickets are still on sale at MXGP.com. Click the event on the calendar for more information. Rider announcements will be coming in the next couple of weeks during the MXGP break, but I can tell you there will be riders from both MXGP and the USA. And also, don't forget to keep on liking us on MXGP Facebook page as well. For more information on the upcoming races, go to MXGP.com. Okay, so our final guest is in place, Stefan Everts. Of course, needs no introduction as a 10-time motocross world champion, but in his new role, he was already on the studio show at the beginning of the season. But Stefan, we've got you back on here because, you know, from the outside looking in, we can only describe it as a tough first year in the office. You know, but I guess if it was that easy, we'd all be doing it, right, team managers?
Yeah, it's a tough season, you know. I didn't expect too much from the first year, so for me it's a whole new ball game, and try to get inside the team and look forward for next season and already 2018. So I'm already looking ahead quite much in the future, how to develop the team and to become better. And yeah, this year, you know, it is what it is, so we have to accept it. Lucky we have Jeremy Sewer, who's doing really well. He's second current in the MX2 World Championship, so you know, MX2 is the young guns, and I think that's something also we need to focus on for the future for MXGP, for Suzuki Racing, that to find young blood.
How is your role at Suzuki now different than what it was when you were with Red Bull KTM?
It's completely different, you know. I'm making now a lot of final decisions, and many things come to me, so the responsibility is much higher than it was in the past. I'm direct contact with Japan, you know, and try to push for things and, you know, for more budget and more support and development. So in many ways, I'm now direct dealing with the Japanese from Suzuki. So, which I like challenging, and yeah, it's interesting.
Okay, well, we are getting tight on time here, but let's start with Ben Townley. Everything looked quite promising when he won the qualifying race in Thailand, but since then it's just gone a little bit off the radar. Why is that?
Yeah, I think Ben came to Europe in January, and he started to have some problems with small injuries, and he always had a few setbacks. And Thailand was a unexpected great race, and maybe this result came a bit too soon for him and gave him a lot of confidence. And from there on, it just went really difficult for him. Like I said, he's been struggling with small minor injuries, but always, you know, it always set him back for a couple of weeks. So yeah, I mean, he's still trying to get back to fully fit health, and he's still having a little problems with his wrist. Practice crash just in front of, just before Saint-Jean.
Yeah.
So he's still not 100% on that, but he's trying hard. He's very motivated. He's doing his best, and that's all he can do.
And then with Strybos, you know, he's injured also. Ben's counterpart in the MXGP. What was the goal for both riders starting the season, would you say?
Well, I think especially for Ben, it was a bit of it was a comeback, and I didn't really expect from the beginning that he would go and race for a world championship. So for me, it was trying to have races under his belt and try to improve during the year, and maybe at the end maybe have some podium finishes, and that would be good for him. For Kevin, you know, I was really hoping to succeed more with him, to push him in a complete different direction, and try to go more to the podiums with him, which in some GPs he was close, especially like in Arco. He was just fourth with a few points off. But then, yeah, you know, what happened in Talavera was not his own fault. He got hit by another rider in the second race, and yeah, he hurt his wrist. And eventually, after 3 weeks, they find that there was a fracture inside his hand. So he's now recovering from that, and we're hoping that he can start riding next week.
Okay, and finally, how pleased are you for the season that Jeremy C was having? As you mentioned, second in points at the moment, and he's had quite a few visits to the podium as well.
Yeah, he's done really great. He's been improving a lot compared to last year. We managed to get the bike better, and we're still working on that. And it's just working great with him. You know, he's a nice guy to work with. Also with the team, the team has changed, and for him it really works out well. And he's feeling himself really comfortable inside the team. We just renewed his contract for next season, MX2. So I think for next year he can be a serious title contender, and that's what we're hoping for.
Okay, we've got about 40 seconds here. One quick question on social media. How do you cope with the pressure of sponsors? That's from Isaac to 11.
Yeah, that's a difficult part, you know, especially when you're trying to rebuild a team and to get good sponsors on board. So I think now for me, I've made the decision to first do some homework, you know, this year, next year, hopefully we can get some results in 2018. So I'm patient, and like I said, just first going to do my homework.
Okay, Stefan Everts, team manager now for Team Suzuki World MXGP. Thanks for joining us. Thanks to Jeff Emig as well for his participation in the last 2 weeks, and also our other guests, Gauthier Paulin and Conrad Mewse. We are at a time here from the FULLBACK MXGP of Lombardia in Italy. Of course, you can follow us live with all the action on mxgptv.com. Hope you enjoy the weekend. See you soon.